Welcome. You're tuned into Tangled Threads. If you're digging our content, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. Man, today was one hell of a day. So, I guess for some backstory, I should tell you about my mother. I'll keep it light, but she passed away recently. It's been rough, really rough. But I'm pushing forward and trying my best. Anyway, I tried to do the adult thing and go into work today despite my grief. I thought I could just keep my mind occupied, you know? But man, it was hard. Every little thing reminded me of her and the good times we shared. Throughout the day, I kept getting these flashbacks of her. Like the time she taught me to ride a bike or that super embarrassing moment at my graduation when she was way too loud cheering for me. It was overwhelming. I could feel the tears coming on several occasions, but I just blinked them away. In hindsight, I see that I should have just called in, but whatever. Around midday, I was staring at my computer screen, trying to focus on the numbers in the spreadsheet, but finding it near impossible. My mind kept wandering back to Mom, to the smell of her cooking, her infectious laughter, her comforting hugs. I jumped slightly when I felt a hand on my shoulder. Looking up, I saw my boss, Mr. Daniels, looking at me with a mix of concern and understanding. "Hey," he began softly. "I heard about your mom. I'm really sorry." I nodded, struggling to keep my voice steady. "Thank you, Mr. Daniels. It's been tough." He sighed and pulled up a chair next to my desk. "I lost my dad 2 years ago," he shared. "It's not easy. Some days it feels like there's this weight on your chest and you just can't breathe." I looked at him, surprised. Mr. Daniels was always so reserved, always all business. I never imagined he'd share something so personal. "Yeah," I replied, my voice barely above a whisper. "That's exactly how it feels." He looked around the office, as if ensuring nobody was eavesdropping, then leaned in a bit. "Look, I should have said something this morning. I should have given you the day off. But, well, I didn't know how to approach it." I tried to muster a smile. "It's okay. I thought work might distract me." Mr. Daniels chuckled softly. "Yeah, I tried that approach too when my dad passed. Spoiler, it doesn't work. Go home. Spend some time with your thoughts, or distract yourself with something more enjoyable than these spreadsheets." I started to protest, but he held up a hand. "It's not a suggestion. Go. And hey," he added, reaching into his pocket and pulling out a crisp $1.20 bill, "grab yourself something on the way. A snack, a drink, whatever helps." I blinked back the tears that suddenly threatened to fall. "Thank you, Mr. Daniels," I whispered. He clapped me on the back, a gentle, fatherly gesture. "Take care, all right? We'll manage here." With that, he got up and walked away, leaving me to gather my things and head out, feeling a mix of gratitude and overwhelming sadness. With Mr. Daniels' words ringing in my ears, I decided to head to Wendy's on my way home. I always found comfort in food during tough times. The drive-thru was relatively empty, and I quickly placed my order. I went for the spicy chicken sandwich and a side of fries. There was just something about the kick from that sandwich that felt momentarily uplifting, and the crispy fries were always a guilty pleasure of mine. As I pulled away, the warm bag on the passenger seat was a small yet comforting presence. When I pulled into my driveway, I saw a car there. I didn't recognize it, but it wasn't a big deal. My wife Jess is always inviting people over. She's super sociable like that. But when I got inside, something felt off. I could hear muffled voices coming from our bedroom. My heart dropped. I hoped it wasn't what I was thinking, but as I approached, it was unmistakable. I heard her. I heard him. And in that split second, I just lost it. I pushed the door open, and right there in the middle of our bed, I saw some guy with my wife. I don't know what came over me, but before I knew it, I jumped in and gave that guy a solid punch right to his face. Like a damn superhero from those comics my nephew reads. He fell off the bed, and I landed a couple more punches, just to make sure he got the message. It's weird. I always thought I was a pacifist, but emotions, man, they do things to you. When I finally calmed down, I told Jess to go take a shower and put some clothes on. She was crying, mascara running down her face. The dude scrambled up and kept saying he was sorry as he made his way out. Honestly, at that moment, I wasn't even listening to him. Once she came back, we sat down in the living room. The tension was palpable. She cleared her throat. "I'm so sorry." I stared at her coldly. "Sorry? That's your opening line? I want to know how long this has been going on." She hesitated, then murmured, "A few months." "A few months," I repeated, voice dripping with disdain. "You betrayed our marriage for months, and now you say it's just a mistake?" She looked down. "I never meant to hurt you. It just Happened. I scoffed. Things don't just happen, Jess. You made a choice, multiple times. I know, she whispered, tears forming in her eyes, and I regret it every day. I need more than regrets, I said, voice firm. I deserve respect, loyalty, honesty, and you failed to give me any of those. She took a deep breath. I messed up, but we can work through this. Go to counseling, try to rebuild. I shook my head. I can't look at you the same way anymore. I can't trust you. I won't put myself through the torture of wondering every time you're out late or with friends. I think it's best for both of us to end this. Her expression shifted to one of defiance. So, you're just giving up? Just like that? It's not giving up, Jess, I replied coldly. It's realizing I deserve better. She bit her lip, clearly fighting back more tears. I'm sorry, Jess, but you're a whore, I added. A bit of gas on the fire, so to speak. I'll go to my parents. We can discuss the logistics later. And with that, she left, leaving me to process the whirlwind of emotions. Anyway, she packed up some things and headed to her parents. I just sat there, burger going cold on the table, thinking about the whirlwind of a day I just had. Losing my mom, finding out about Jess, and all that in between. Life's crazy sometimes, isn't it? Update. A couple of months had passed since I discovered everything. The initial shock and anger had faded, replaced by a mixture of acceptance and a new routine. Life had a way of moving on, even when you felt like it shouldn't. One evening, as I was settling into my couch to watch some TV, my phone buzzed. It was an unknown number, but I answered anyway. Hello? It's Sarah, came the soft voice on the other end. A knot formed in my stomach. What do you want? I asked, trying to keep my voice level. She took a deep breath. Look, I wouldn't call if it wasn't important. I'm pregnant. Silence. I was trying to process her words. What? She repeated. I'm pregnant, and it happened. On that day. My heart raced, a flurry of emotions crashing over me. So, you're saying it might be his? It's likely, she whispered. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. Look, Sarah, I told you I wanted nothing to do with you after what you did. You made your choices, and you're going to have to handle the consequences on your own. But I just thought you should know, she protested weakly. Why? Why tell me this? To guilt trip me? I asked, trying to keep my temper in check. No, she replied, her voice quivering. I just thought you had a right to know. I appreciate the information, I responded coldly, but it changes nothing between us. Good luck with everything. With that, I ended the call, took a deep breath, and tried to push away the fresh wave of emotions threatening to overwhelm me. Life really had a way of throwing curveballs, didn't it? Update 2. A few more months had rolled by, and I'd managed to find some semblance of normalcy. I'd thrown myself into work, hobbies, and hanging out with friends. It was a welcome distraction from the memories and emotions of the past. One evening, after a tiring day at work, I was startled by a soft cry coming from my doorstep as I approached my house. I quickened my pace, finding a tiny baby bundled up in a blanket with a small note attached. My heart sank when I recognized Sarah's handwriting. I'm sorry, I can't do this alone. I quickly brought the baby inside and began trying to calm him down. Before I could fully process the situation, the police showed up. Apparently, Sarah had been arrested for unrelated charges, and in her panic, she'd left the child at my doorstep. I was still grappling with the situation when a car pulled up, and out stepped the guy, the very one from that fateful day. He approached hesitantly, eyes focused on the child. I'm here for the baby, he said softly, avoiding direct eye contact. I was on edge but tried to remain composed. And why should I hand the child over to you? He sighed. Look, man, I am so sorry about everything. I never imagined it'd spiral like this. She told me about the pregnancy, and while I'm not certain if I'm the father, I am willing to step up. I eyed him warily. You think that makes up for everything? He shook his head. No, I don't. But right now, my main concern is this child. I came here to apologize to you as well. I regret getting involved with Sarah and bringing this chaos into your life. I stared at him for a long moment, weighing my options. Finally, I sighed. Take the baby. Just make sure you take care of him. He shouldn't have to pay for our mistakes. He nodded gratefully, taking the baby into his arms. Thank you. And again, I'm truly sorry. I watched him go, the weight of the past few months settling heavily on my shoulders. It seemed life's twists and turns weren't quite done with me yet. What the fuck? Jesus cheating on one guy just to jump to the next and do it all over? These people, man. Part of me wonders, though. Anyways, what do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.